Wait,
Because he's always so grounded.
I know.
So grounded.
I'm a yes.
Yeah. I'm glad you're a yes.
Let's talk later.
So speaking of yes, the voice beneath us still reminds me we are all one, there is no mystery to be solved, and I breathe to celebrate that I'm alive. My heart says yes to you, my beloved. I surrender to this moment, and I breathe to celebrate that I'm alive. My soul says yes to everything that's possible, a simple yes, and all my worries come unraveled, and I breathe to celebrate that I'm alive. My darkest moments now are when the sun rises, and I'm so grateful for each surprise it takes me over, daring me to try. You take me over, daring me to try. My soul says yes to everything that's possible, a simple yes, and all my worries come unraveled, and I breathe to celebrate that I'm alive. My soul says yes to everything that's possible, a simple yes to life, and I breathe to celebrate that I'm alive. My soul says yes, a simple yes. My soul says yes, a simple yes. My soul says
I know, I say that every time she sings a song, but it's true. They're all my favorites. Good morning.
Good morning.
better than to do that. Everybody holds their breath when I lean over the piano.
You heard it? Everybody heard
The
it.
collective. Well, I'm excited. I am so grateful to be here this morning and happy to see everybody here. And I want to say hi to Emily, who's able to join us in person now for the first time in the meeting. And I want to say hi to Brick, who's joining us on Zoom. Hi, Brick. We love you and miss you really bad.
Really good.
Come home. I'm Rev Donna Starr, in case you didn't know that. This week's topic. I know that we know that the topic works me every single week. Like it works me, and sometimes the spiritual principle has a way of really getting in. You know, like it's more than me. It's not just me studying the spiritual principle for this week and how we're going to talk. It's about the principle this week was studying me. That's really what was happening. So I just want you to know that today I am speaking to you not as somebody who has mastered the spiritual principle of reciprocity or freedom. or love. But I'm just somebody who's living with these questions, living with these principles, living with trying and learning to understand these principles in real time, like right now. And thank you for my handler. So I know in spiritual community we talk a lot about freedom. It's a big topic. We talk about freedom to be who we are, as we are, freedom to express ourselves, freedom to love, freedom to be, and to live in that freedom without fear. And all of that is really, really true. I mean, that's all. It's a good thing to talk about. It's very important for us to understand. But there's also another side to freedom that we don't talk about very much, and that is that freedom, like, it goes both ways, right? It works both ways. So love never asks me to surrender my freedom so that you can have your freedom. It asks me to use my freedom wisely so that you may use your freedom wisely. And I want to talk a little bit about reciprocity right now, because reciprocity isn't about like keeping score, right? It's not it's not a transactional thing. It's not a you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. That's transactional. Reciprocity is about recognizing that we all live in the same current of life. And we all live in the same current of love. We all live in the same flow of energy. And that what I contribute to that flow affects everybody else. Because love isn't a one-way current. Love isn't just a one-way current flowing into me and now I'm full of love. What it is it's flowing into me and it's flowing out through me and it is flowing into you and then it flows out of you and into everybody else. And that's happening to me too. Love is flowing into you and then it flows out to me. We all live in this reciprocity of love, in this reciprocity of this energy, in this life. And so what I do, say, and think not only affects the atmosphere that I live in, it affects the atmosphere that everybody else gets to live in too. And if you've ever had brothers and sisters, or or have lived in a marriage, or just even been in interaction with other human beings, you know that this is true, right? You know that this is true. What we do affects each other, because love is circulation. Love is constant flowing, endless energy, and it's reciprocal. Love is inhale, love is exhale. It's giving and it's receiving. Ernest Holmes teaches us that life is a mirror that reflects back to the thinker what they think into it. And I know that can sometimes feel a little like a reward punishment system, but it's not. It's not. It's the truth of the law of circulation, that what I put out, the universe is going to give back. And the universe is constantly asking us this question: what would you like to experience right now? What would you like to have in your life? And I like to think about it like, who do I want to be in this experience right now? If I look back at this experience a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now, who do I want to see back there as me doing whatever it is? How do I want to show up now, and how do I want to see myself in the future? My favorite mythologist, Joseph Campbell, right, said the privilege of a lifetime is being who you are. And I love that quote. And I also wonder if we're only kind of hearing half of it. Because if it's my privilege to become fully who I am, then it's also my responsibility to allow you the same thing. Because freedom goes both ways. So I can't ask for acceptance while withholding acceptance. I can't ask to be heard if I'm refusing to listen. I can't ask for life to trust me if I don't trust life. Because reciprocity isn't about bookkeeping, it's about rhythm, right? It's about rhythm. Reciprocity is living in the rhythm of life. And I love Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of our founding teachers, who said, good is everywhere. And I like to remove one of those O's out of the good and just say God is everywhere. Because good, God, what's the difference? So if good is everywhere, then God is everywhere. And they don't say that, she doesn't say that good is everywhere when everybody's behaving themselves.
No, she does not.
That's so good. I'm so glad.
Right? Good is everywhere. Even if I can't see it immediately, even if the circumstances argue against it, good remains good because God is God expressing. And Science of Mind teaches us that there's only one life. And so that means that there's no place where God stops being God. Not in our celebrations and not in our disappointments. Not in our unanswered prayers, not in our confusion. God is present in all of it. Good is everywhere present. And the question isn't whether God is there. The question is whether I can become available enough to notice. How open am I to seeing God in whatever situation I'm in? That's the practice. And I think that's where we sometimes get a little tangled up, because we can confuse love with agreement. We can confuse compassion with permission. We can confuse kindness with the inability to say no. But love has structure. Real love teaches us that. Nature teaches us that, because like a river without banks is just a flood, right? You need to have some controls. Music without rhythm is just noise. And as a past gardener, I know that if I don't put a fence around my garden, the deer are going to come eat my food. Well, they think it's their food. It could be all of our food, but they're not as sharing. And even our human hearts have valves. They have valves that open and close. Open and close. And it's not, the heart valve doesn't close because it has stopped loving. It's because that's how love keeps life flowing. Because boundaries aren't the opposite of love. Healthy boundaries are love's greatest expression. So the law of reciprocity asks us some uncomfortable questions. So I'm going to ask y'all some uncomfortable questions. I'm not targeting anyone. What am I circulating? Am I circulating fear? Am I circulating control? Judgment? Scarcity? Or am I circulating courage? Generosity? Forgiveness? Trust? Because whatever we are consistently circulating, that becomes our experience of life. Back to Ernest Holmes, who said, love points the way and law makes the way possible. So we're going to talk about law. The law. And I've always loved that, because it's that structure. Love points the way, law makes the way possible. Love provides the vision. Law provides the structure. Love says yes to life. Law says, and how are we going to embody that today? And both of those things matter. One without the other leaves us either sentimental or rigid. We need to have both. Spirit is inviting us into something even wiser than love. It's love with structure. And Mr. Campbell is making his way into my talk yet again today. And we know, but most of us know and have heard about Joseph Campbell and his theories and his talks about the hero's journey. And sometimes we think that the hero's greatest act is when he's in the cave and they slay the dragon. But I don't think that that's true. I think that the hardest moment comes afterward. The hardest moment for the hero comes after they have slayed the dragon and they return home. Because somebody capable of carrying out that kind of act, and you need to be capable of carrying that back into your regular life. Transformation isn't proven in the cave. That's bravery. That's courage. That's a whole different thing. But transformation gets proven at the dinner table. Transformation gets proven in our relationships. Transformation is proven in traffic or in the grocery lines or in the front porch where we're being asked to have conversations that we might rather avoid. And that's where Spirit graduates us from philosophy to practice. And so I found myself this week asking myself a very different question. Not what is life giving me, but what is life asking to become through me? And Science of Mind has always taught that we are not victims of circumstance. We are participants in creation. Every encounter becomes an invitation. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to choose our consciousness again and again. Not perfectly, just consciously. And freedom does mean allowing people to make their own choices. And it also means allowing ourselves to make our own choices. And sometimes the most loving thing that we can do is embrace somebody. And sometimes the most loving thing that we can do is step back. Sometimes the most loving word is yes. And sometimes the holiest word is no. And both can arise from a compassionate heart. Because reciprocity means honoring the freedom and dignity of everybody involved in whatever situation we're in, including ourselves. And I think that that's what the Master Teacher Jesus taught so beautifully too. Because he healed, he forgave, he fed thousands, and sometimes he walked away. He went out in the desert, climbed up on a mountain, got on a boat. He left the crowd. So even love incarnate understood that constant giving without returning to our source is not sustainable. And if Jesus needed solitude, if Jesus needed to step away, then people, we don't have to apologize for doing the same thing. We don't have to feel bad about ourselves for needing to take a break, or to say no, or to just step back. And so this week I'm going to invite us all into a little spiritual inventory, if you choose. to enter the cave. Here it comes. Where is life trying to circulate more freely through me? Where am I holding too tightly? Where have I confused rescuing with loving? Where am I being invited to trust the law just as much as I trust love? Because the universe is never asking us to choose between love and wisdom, between compassion or healthy boundaries, between freedom and responsibility. Spirit's always inviting us into the sacred dance where they become one movement, where they become the one flow of life. And I believe with all of my heart, with all of my being, that life is always moving toward its best expression of itself. It's always moving towards healing. It's always moving toward greater love. And that every single one of us participates in that unfolding every single day by what we choose to circulate. So may we circulate kindness. May we circulate courage. May we circulate forgiveness. May we circulate healthy boundaries. May we circulate joy. Because whatever we place into the current of life doesn't disappear, it travels. It touches lives that we will never know about. And you know what? Somehow, very miraculously, it returns to us. It finds its way home. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful experience to have. So I'm going to end with this. Love is reciprocal. Freedom is reciprocal. And sometimes the person tending to the sanctuary must stand at the door with both an open heart and a steady hand. And perhaps freedom isn't the ability to do whatever we want. Darn it. Perhaps true freedom is becoming so anchored in love that we're free to choose what serves the highest good. And perhaps reciprocity is not simply getting back what we give. Perhaps reciprocity is discovering that every single choice we make is already shaping the world that we get to live in together. So if I had one single thing that I wanted to gift to this community today, it would be that we are the loving expression of Spirit. And Spirit knows a lot about boundaries. And Spirit knows a lot about safety. And Spirit knows a lot about how that sometimes love shows up not necessarily looking warm and fuzzy and glittery on the outside. And that sometimes it shows up looking like firmness. It looks like standing firm in principle. It looks like seeing the higher good, the bigger picture. Here at the Lighthouse, here at Emerald Valley, our mission is to create a sanctuary of love for every single person who not only steps into this room, into this space, but onto this property, and a sanctuary of safety for everyone. And that's where we dwell. That's where we live. That's how we express Spirit into this neighborhood of the Whitaker, which is so alive, ever changing, always showing up in a different costume, always showing up in a different expression. I have so much love for this community of Emerald Valley and for this Whitaker neighborhood. And so I want to thank you for partnering with us, with Emerald Valley, with the Lighthouse, in being the reciprocal nature of spirit as love in this space. So, thank you for your blessing.
Thanks.